Welcome to Apples and Oranges with Matt and Jack. I'm Matt.
And I'm Jack.
And this podcast, if you've listened to it over the past few years, then you know one thing, and that is we've always been a call-in show.
Yes, we have never been a debate podcast where we debate our listeners and our guests on disparate topics. It's never been the case.
We don't have guests on this podcast.
No, we've never had guests. It's not usually what we do. Well, today we sort of have a guest, in a way.
In a way, well, okay, we should explain. So this is, of course, a call-in podcast where
Yes.
people you call us asking for our takes on two different topics, apples and oranges style.
Mm-hmm.
Hence the name. And so, of course, for this podcast, we need phones. So we got a phone for making calls for this podcast. And I didn't think much of course, I wrote it off in my taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And the IRS didn't believe me.
The IRS got very mad at Matt, and they wanted to make sure that we're actually using the phone for what Matt listed in his taxes. So they actually sent an auditor here.
Yep. We have an auditor here, Mr. N.
Yep. He's he's doing his thing. He doesn't need to acknowledge us. But so in a way we sort of have a guest, but
Yeah,
it's
but
not really typical of this podcast.
he's mostly just here to observe, make sure that this is a call-in podcast, that it always has been a call-in podcast, and that we are using this phone for business purposes.
And as our listeners may know, we like to begin this podcast by asking each other,
Yeah.
Matt, what was a phone call you had recently?
A phone call I had recently. That's a great question. I recently called my grandmother.
Oh, nice.
She sent me a Hanukkah gift,
That's great.
and I wanted to thank her. And I said, "How's it going?" And she said, "Oh, it's so cold." She said it's so cold, and and she said, you'd think at my age I'm used to it, but I don't. And yet I'm still so shocked." And I said, "Well, you have the rest of the year to get used to it." And she said, "Well, it's not like I have a choice." I thought that was kind of funny.
Oh, that's extremely sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I actually spoke to my grandmas yesterday. On Sunday, I called both of my grandmas. My grandfathers are no longer with us. So there's only two left to call. And that's
and not on this podcast either,
and not on this podcast.
because we don't
either.
have guests.
We don't have guests. That would be ludicrous. So, spoke to them, and one of my grandmas likes to keep it quick, keep it snappy, just like, "Oh, hi, Jack. How you doing? Blah, blah, blah. All right. Don't want to bother you. Bye-bye." And then the other one, we chatted for close to 20, 30 minutes, and it was some good chatting about weather, about life, about, returning home for the holidays. This is coming out in the new year, but right now we're just sort of gearing up for the holidays is when we're recording this. And yeah, I'm trying to think of any other phone calls I've made lately. Nothing too out of the ordinary, I'd say.
Yeah, this has been pretty standard 2 weeks for phone calls.
Yeah,
I know. I mean, every week we're talking about our phone calls, so
I
we
know.
gotta have.
Yeah. I will say I did speak to my brother yesterday, which was nice, and I think we're gonna go see the Fire and Ash, the new Avatar coming out.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be nice to go to a theater in North Carolina that actually has it's actually massive and has all the amenities. I think it's tough in New York to get a theater that is just completely indulgent maxed. So that'll be a nice treat. And yeah, it's been some pretty good times of the phone calls, I must say.
Yeah, we're always taking calls and receiving them. I mean, that's just how we operate around here.
Yes, that is business as usual.
And for the record, I didn't download any games or anything.
No.
I didn't download any games or anything.
No, this phone is perfectly.
It's for calls.
It's for calls. It's
for business.
It's why it was written off in that way. And speaking of business, should we dive into our usual order of business and start listening to some calls?
This is our usual order of business. Why don't we take some calls here? We have, of course, as always, a few calls.
Mhm.
So let's see.
Let's do it. Please hold for the call.
Hey, Apples and Oranges, fan of the pod here calling in from Brooklyn. Hoping you can help me settle a bit of an internal debate I've been having these last few years over what's truly better, Beethoven's unfinished 10th Symphony or accidentally eating the fortune in a fortune cookie? Looking for an answer soon, or I fear I may do something ridiculous. Thanks in advance.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, so we have Beethoven's Unfinished Symphony and eating a fortune on accident within a fortune cookie. Huh.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. I think what's great, which is better, I mean, in a way, both things leave you with something unfinished, right?
Yeah.
A fortune that you're unable to read, that you never know what it could have been. It is full of potential. It could have been the greatest fortune ever, but
Yep.
it doesn't exist. It's sort of Schrodinger's fortune. And
as a result, you'll never know whether or not it actually came true.
exactly. As were Beethoven, and similarly with the symphony, it was never finished.
There's a lot of
Therefore,
could have beens.
a lot of could have beens. But I will say, I think what is left with more possibility, the Unfinished Symphony or the Fortunes? I would almost say the Fortune.
I
Right?
would say the symphony,
You would
but
say the
let's,
symphony.
let's hear.
Well, because I'm like, a fortune it could literally be anything, you know? The
Yeah.
symphony, we already have a pretty decent idea where it's going. We know Beethoven's collection, his previous work, so we could have a decent idea of like what it maybe could have been, you know? There's only a certain range it could have gone in. Fortune, limitless, is sort of my argument. So I would sort of say that, in a way, eating the fortune of a fortune cookie before opening it is better because there's even more potential there. But I'm curious to hear your takes, Matt.
Well, I guess I just feel like there's this limitless potential that's tied to like art and artistic expression with the Beethoven thing. Whereas like eating the fortune, like you've just eaten paper,
Mhm.
and the fortune, let's be real, has no bearing on anything.
No bearing on anything. Your digestive system and your gut microbiome.
Well, that only really, because the fortune itself, whether or not you've read it, it's not like these fortunes come true.
I think it's not so much. Well, but they do come true in a way. If say you read a fortune, and it does come true, sort of like a horoscope where it's almost destined to come true. It's almost
Because you're opening yourself up to that particular thing.
yeah, exactly.
So you will notice it more when
Yeah.
it does happen.
Also, Beethoven was deaf. How good could this symphony have been if it was his last one? It probably would have not been good. It probably would have been like a Vultures 2 situation.
Well, he wrote an Ode to Joy when he was pretty deaf. That's why it wound up being so high.
Oh, really? Is it really? Which one's?
That's like
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah. And it's so high up because he couldn't hear. That's what they say. So he couldn't have really considered. He probably wouldn't have written something so high up.
Okay.
But the result is great. I mean, it's a
It was
classic.
pretty good. I really like that song because there was a, I think it was like, it wasn't Fruit Ninja. It was like some kind of app like Fruit Ninja where when you would kind of go on like a winning streak, there'd be a thing at the end that would play it. Maybe it was Angry Birds. Nah, it couldn't have been Angry Birds.
Yeah.
But that was I guess that was pretty good, but that doesn't, I don't know. I just think there's no way that his Unfinished Symphony would have been better than anything that would have come before it. As we're an Unfinished Fortune Cookie, endless possibility. Probably like, and also, who's to say you may not see it again? What if you? I'm not telling our viewers or listeners to sift through their droppings, but
Maybe they should.
maybe you should. Maybe there's a fortune in there. Crack that shit open. Fortune cookie. Wait,
Yeah,
what about
man.
this for a business idea?
Yes.
Well, you eat like you take one, like you eat it, and then the fortune changes when you digest it and shit.
And you
Is that
get
possible?
to uncrack it. You get to crack it out of
Yeah.
your droppings.
Yeah, I think the technology could be there to turn your shit into a fun toy. Wait, this is actually good. What about this? Is actually could be a decent, good business opportunity for companies that want to sell toys and food and stuff. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So I think just for anyone who's interested in making consumer products, if this is you,
Mm-hmm.
I think you'd benefit from some developing technology that allows consumables that can transform, thanks to the the chemistry of the gut biome,
Yeah.
and transform into something fun. In the same way, there are certain toys that, like, when you add water, they change color.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. I'd love to see a like one of those remember, like, what was it called? It's like 1,000 Ways to Die or something. One of those shows.
Dumb Ways to Die.
Dumb Ways to Die
or-
is a song on YouTube, I think.
You're
but
thinking of a different
I'm thinking of
thing.
that show on like
probably is like 1,000 Ways to Die. That
it
kind
is,
of rings
it
a
is
bell.
something like that, and it's just like people doing dumb shit. Like I imagine someone eating one of those towels or toys that like when water like expands and shit.
Yeah.
You know.
Eating like the little pellet, thinking they're taking a pill.
Yeah. My dumbass would do that. Be like, my vitamins have come.
A giant dinosaur bursts through you like a chest buster.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think
I guess where I'm hung up is like, to me, like, I'm a fan of Americanized Chinese cuisine where where fortune cookies are plentiful, and I find that the fortune cookie, it's like that's where we're left. That's our free dessert, and I'm always left in a state of wanting because the cookie isn't that good.
I don't think it's really a dessert though. I think it's like
the fortune is always meaningless to me.
Wow. That's sad to hear. It's meaningless.
It's meaningless to me. I mean, I read it with my eyes.
But do you internalize it?
I guess not.
There you go. I think, yeah, see, I don't know. I still think the eating the fortune is better than the unfinished symphony, because also the symphony is unfinished. It's not even done.
Well, as we always say on Apples and Oranges, there are no winners. So that's just how it is. Sound off.
Yeah, that's great, folks. Yeah, there are no winners in this podcast, but
that's how it always is.
These are just our musings.
Yeah, this is how the podcast regularly is. We just like to muse about it.
We just like to muse. This is a thinkers podcast, and I think we should bring up another.
We're sort of the modern day philosophers.
We are the modern day philosophers. Let's bring up another message here.
Yep.
All right. Thank you for calling, Miles.
Thank you.
Hi, Matt and Jack. It's your friend Brian. And I have two questions or things I want your opinions on. One of them is about grocery stores in the modern American grocery store. And the idea is how we have everything grown all over in the world, flown to us in one little place. You can have every single thing this globe has to offer. And the question is that awesome? Or is it evil, satanic display of gluttony? And the world would be better if we were forced to make ends meet with what is in season, what's grown nearby, be more in touch with nature. Or is this just the pinnacle of human civilization? So that's one in grocery stores. The other thing I want to know is, do you guys carry cash? What's the utility of carrying cash? And would you urge people to carry cash with them? Or do you think in the age of Venmo and credit cards and debit cards, it's just irrelevant? Thank you. Have a good day.
No, thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian, for two prompts.
So 2 prompts. I think we should go into each prompt, and then we got to compare them. It's apples to oranges at the end of the day.
So we got to compare the prompts later.
So I kind of no. It's sort of like a bracket. It's like it's like pro or anti grocery store, and then
pro or anti cash,
and then those two versus each other.
Okay,
so
let's
first
discuss
winners. Yeah, so there do have to be winners in this one, and we'll decide.
But this is different, and the podcast isn't usually like this.
No,
by the way,
no, this is very different.
The podcast isn't usually like this.
Yeah. So look, I'll go ahead and say, as far as pro or anti grocery store, I think I'm anti. I think it's too gluttonous. I think
think it's kind of it's overly gluttonous.
Because what if we just we don't really need all that shit.
No, we really don't. I mean, especially with how artificial the food supply is to begin with. We can artificially create stuff here, so we can, artificially speaking, have everything.
Yeah, and I also think the grocery store experience is just too gluttonous anyway. It's overstimulation. They're playing music. They're flashing deals at you.
Oh my god, the music!
Oh, the music! Enough!
What
we really need is just a wet market in every few blocks where we can have people sitting outside peddling their wares, shit that's caught.
Farmers,
nearby.
Yeah, we need a bazaar.
Yes, we need a grand bazaar.
We lack bazaars, and I'll say what I think is the cause of this, and it's not the food industry. Okay, no, I think it's the English language and our association of bazaars and the word bizarre.
Yeah,
and we're against strangeness. In this country.
Everything's just been lost in translation.
We hear bazaar and we go, "That's strange to me."
That's strange. I don't want to go there. I think
there's a supermarket. They say supermarket, and I go, well, that's super.
Yeah, well, I did hear that, Zoran Mayer now, Union Square Market is actually becoming the Union Square Bazaar. So that's actually going to be great. I'm excited for that. We're already moving in the right direction.
I think that seems pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's really good.
All right, so we're in agreement here.
Yeah.
Entirely too gluttonous, these grocery stores.
Yes.
Thank you for Brian for that one. Mm-hmm. We'll be thanking you 3 times. That was the first one.
Yep.
Thank you, Brian.
Now, this next question he has posed for us.
I see both sides of this one.
Okay, I do too, because I also think if I naturally want to say do not carry cash, because I
Yeah.
personally really don't. But
Yeah.
now that we're in a world of bazaars, I need to be carrying cash at all times.
Yeah, there's that. There's the world of bazaars. There's the fact that it's the fucking. So that means inherently that we're putting all of our trust in these banks.
Well, you know what? Actually, I think either way you're putting trust in the bank. I think because if you have cash out, the cash is just it's only depreciating in value the longer it's in your pocket. I think land is the ultimate currency.
Yeah, we should be trading land on the daily.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. But
Yeah.
okay, and then here's the other thing too. Who's really being hit the hardest by this transition fully to digital? It's like homeless people that want to like
Mhm.
try and like panhandle. That used to be a viable way to get some money.
Mhm.
Now no one carries cash.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is kind of tragic. I also think the nice about carrying cash as well, just like for laundry and stuff.
Yeah, so it's
good for
interesting.
laundry.
Like on a practical level, based on our own experience, like I feel like we're both less in favor of it. But in this sort of theoretical lane, there's a lot.
Yeah, but I kind of think that I'm gonna just stick with my guns and say not good to carry cash, because then it really is. It puts the local bazaar versus like not carrying cash. Because otherwise, if it's like carry cash and versus a local grocery store that's probably cash based, and it's like it's no longer apples and oranges.
True. And for that purpose, I do have to agree.
Yes.
And thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. Does that bring us to our third
Yeah.
point of contention here? The
Yeah.
local grocery store versus digital wallets.
Yeah, and it's got to be
And it's
bazaars.
gotta be bazaars. Bazaars win.
Bazaars win.
Yeah,
We
think
love
about
the
it.
bazaars. Not too strange to me.
No, not strange to us. And cash is king,
Cash is king.
and cash is clay.
And yes.
Muhammad
They-
Ali.
they call him
come on our
Muhammad Ali
podcast.
now. Yeah.
Come on our podcast.
I heard he died.
Rest in power.
Okay.
Okay, folks.
And thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. We have another powerful call coming right up.
Hey guys, it's Brandon, longtime listener here. I think we should compare. Oh, sorry for the noise. I'm watching Crash Compilation 10 on YouTube. Pretty great.
Everyone is clear of the truck.
Anyways, I think we should compare Al Bundy from Married with Children to Ted Bundy.
Right now, we've got Impact with CSX.
Wow. All right.
As the officer
So like Married with Children, Al Bundy, he's a normal guy, but is Ted Bundy also perceived as a normal guy in real life, a serial killer? Al Bundy's also a psycho, total psycho. Ted Bundy, psycho, but no one. Is the difference because he has a job and a family? That's what I want to know. I think we should tackle this issue.
Amazing.
Wow.
Also, shout out Train Crash Compilations. That's freaking awesome, guys. I'm gonna do a quick research.
Yeah. So
Matt, do you know Al Bundy at all?
Yep, Married with Children. I had never
Okay.
really watched the show, but it's the same actor, Ed O'Neill, who plays the grandpa, the oldest dad in
God.
Modern Family.
Amazing.
He had two like long running, highly successful sitcoms. He's kind of a king in that lane. So yeah, I mean it's interesting because instinctively everyone wants to say Al Bundy, which is why I think we need to discuss them both and really give Ted Bundy his due time.
I honestly think I'm gonna give it to Ted. I think that anyone could have been Al Bundy. Peace and love. He's very charming. He's very affable. But like, I just probably know 5 to 10 people in my life that could have portrayed this role equally.
Well, it's not about Ed O'Neill. It's about the character of Al Bundy.
Oh, okay. You're right. Sorry. So Al Bundy. Well, he's okay.
Put
So
some respect on Ed O'Neill's name.
I'm gonna know purely smut for Ed O'Neill. Here's the thing,
Smut,
guys.
you're sending him porn.
I'm putting smut on his name, folks. The thing is, this guy, he's a misanthropic working class father of two, portrayed as a tragic comedic figure. Yeah, so I can name a billion characters like that. But I'm not going to, because this is my podcast and I don't need to do that.
The Death of a Salesman guy.
Yep. Death of a Salesman.
The
I said I wasn't going to.
the main guy from Death of a Salesman. The main guy from Fences. I'm just
Fences
naming
guy.
classic plays.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think I kind of agree with what Brian was saying. Like, do we fuck with him more because he has a family and is just like locked in and is, but he's a sheeple. He's like he's in the Matrix, and I think Ted Bundy, he got out the Matrix. He got a little too far out the Matrix. Also,
Yeah,
he's hot.
he got out the Matrix, and decided to use that power and his raw riz to like rape and kill a bunch of women.
Yeah, I think it's look, tragic of course, but who do you think is more Riz?
Who do I think has more riz?
Ted.
I mean, we know it was Ted.
Yeah, Ted is the higher body count.
Yeah.
Though
Where Al Bundy did not rape and kill anyone.
I know what a. Well, look, we're not necessarily. This podcast is not,
And we don't support anything we argue about.
We don't support anything we argue about.
There are no winners. And the other thing of this podcast, we have no values.
Yeah,
That's right. So just consider that we don't really mean anything we say
No.
because we have no values.
And I think that's sort of why I'm leaning towards Ted, because in order to do such horrible things, you probably also have very few values.
No values.
Right?
Well,
I don't know.
Al Bundy
He will-
seems to have no values either, which is why I kind of respect him.
No, I think he values his family. He's got a family. above all.
Family, but from what little I've seen of that show, the joke of that show, the
He
main
hates his
joke-
life.
Yeah, the joke is that like it's a family sitcom where they're completely dysfunctional and they all sort of hate each other.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I would love to see his sort of King of Comedy style snap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, him just kind of freak out, break down.
Now, do we think
thrash
Ted
about.
Bundy like snapped, or was he always like that?
No, he was an alpha. He never snapped. He was just always a freak from day one. I think he was killing animals and birds
Oh,
and
he's
shit,
one of
right?
those
One of those
types.
guys, yeah. Also, one thing about Ted that I do also
You're really
fascinating.
gunning for Ted. Yeah,
I'm,
go on.
I'm gunning for Ted, and I'll tell you why. He like represented himself in court, right?
Yeah,
And
because
he
he,
was-
knew
he went to
'cause
law school, too.
He knew no lawyer had the amount of riz he did. He's like, let me handle
Yeah, and I
this."
think Al Bundy probably would have hired a lawyer, and
Yeah, probably. Though he's kind of a stooge. I think he would have been like, oh, it's a good idea for me to defend myself.
but that's why I think he wouldn't defend himself, because I feel like a stooge would be like, oh, now I'm flipping. I don't know. I really think the problem is I don't really know him as Jay.
Yeah, well, hold on. Let's talk about Jay for a minute. If we're gonna, these are
yeah.
comparable characters.
Okay, I honestly think
I like Jay.
Jay I do like. I think Jay is probably tied with Ted.
Jay Dumpy.
Yeah,
Jay Dumpy rules.
because he's just the king boomer.
He's
Marry
the-
his hot Latina baddie. Fucking just gets to chill in his big ass house.
Over the course of the seasons, he and his stepson grow very close.
Yeah, Manny's great. He's a great father to Manny.
He is a great because
Yeah.
that's the best arc in the show. I think there are a lot of
Yeah.
arcs in that show. Best arc in the show is the way season 1, he and Manny are always at odds, but you can tell that there's something kind of developing.
Yeah.
And it's by the end, it's truly a father and son thing.
Yeah, it's so great. And I don't think Al's capable of that. Ted, I don't think Ted's capable of that either.
Nah,
frankly.
you got me rooting for Ted Bundy just by picking a different person to compare Al Bundy to. I'm like,
Okay, so-
Al Bundy's a sack of shit. I guess I'm really rooting for Jay. Why am I saying Dumpy? That's a different family.
No, Dunphy's
Jay,
is
Jay Pritchett.
yeah.
Jay
Should I do a
Pritchett.
little
That-
research?
I know my Modern Family
Okay.
just enough to say Jay Pritchett is the character.
Fuck yeah. Jay. Hold on.
It's, I guess at the end of the day, I'm just rooting for like Ed O'Neill to continue having a great career.
I am too, but I think that's gonna go without saying.
Well, what is it? It's
Jay
like
Pritchett,
T-Mobile
yeah.
or something. One of the phone carriers, they do ads, and every time I hear the voiceover in the ads, I go, "Is that Ed O'Neill?"
What's he been in lately? Let's give it a little look see.
Yeah, that's a good question. I thought I saw him in the commercial for something, and I was kind of surprised.
Ed O'Neill.
Yeah.
Let's go to the
Well, let's
IMDb
see.
page.
Ed O'Neill.
This is also going to really determine whether or not Ted Bundy beats him out, because now it's just become Ed O'Neill versus Ed Bundy, and I think
And if that's the case, Ed O'Neill's like pretty great.
I think
he's
Ed
a great
O'Neill's really
comic
great.
actor.
He's going to be
He's
what's
very likable.
upcoming Married with Children. He's going to be a voice.
I guess they're doing it as like an animated reboot, like they did with
Bad-
that other show.
featuring Henry and Bad Day. I think I've heard of Bad Day.
This is
Cameron Diaz and Mark Duplass.
Sam Richardson,
Oh, Sammy Rich.
Rob Corddry. That's a pretty good cast.
Storyline. All right, folks. Look, it doesn't matter. I think he's been clipped last ship. I don't know. He's just been in some dog shit. It looks like
He was in
since-
Finding Dory.
He's an Entourage.
He was in Entourage.
2015 Fish
He was in
Hooks.
Wreck-It Ralph.
He's a working actor, folks. We love to see it, though.
Not as much as we love to see the hot face of Ted Bundy.
No, that sexy, self-representing serial killer. Yeah, and
So I
just let
get-
us know in the comments what you think, people. Like,
Yeah, because There are no winners.
Okay, folks, we've got
Let's
do our final
and,
call.
and thank you, Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon, thank you. I also shout out the train crash compilation.
Yep, that was great.
You're
All right.
absolutely goated. Let's hear
And
our.
now for our last call-in for the episode. As you know, we always do 4 call-ins.
Yep, it's sort of traditional. We like to break
That's
things
how
up
this
into
works.
quarters.
If you want to write that down.
Yeah, I mean,
If you wanna-
jot that
okay,
down.
okay,
The
thanks.
auditor is going to take a second to write that, and we will play the call.
Hey,
All right, folks, that has been. No, I just.
hey, Matt and Jack, long time, first time. Everybody's always arguing about apples versus oranges. Why don't you argue tomato versus tomato?
Ooh, this is great. I mean, look, I think tomato. If you look, my first instinct, I think tomato takes the dub in mine because This is an anti-Anglican podcast.
Right, because we're a Catholic app.
We're a Catholic app, and we hate the Church of England, and therefore hate British people by extension. So tomato. I always think tomato.
Tomato.
Well, hold on. How does
Yeah, I mean, let's
what is
get into
what is
this.
the origins of tomato? The word tomato, because it's like
Yeah.
a Mesoamerican produce, I think.
Yeah, we got to do a number crunch on this. I'm trying to think because also if we're picking between like a British pronunciation and an American pronunciation, I don't know where my biases lie. Because we're picking between the pronunciation of like 2 of the worst regimes that this world has ever seen.
Well, the word actually comes from other 2 horrible regimes: the
Oh, no.
Spanish word tomate,
Oh no.
and then the Aztec word tomatal,
Oh god.
which translates to swelling fruit. And
I'd pick Aztec. I mean, what? They just did like human sacrifices, right? That
Well,
was
yeah,
their main
they'd, like-
bad thing.
well, I don't really know. I'm sure they did a lot of bad shit. I think most of these empires, civilizations, are up to some nefarious shit.
But if the worst shit you did was human sacrifices, it's kind of okay with me.
You know, I think a lot of it may have been child sacrifice too. Also,
Childs are humans.
I guess they are. Yeah, I think in some cases they are. Yeah, tomato, tomato.
Whoa, that was the Google voiceover.
That was Well, that was just some shit I've been working on.
Sounded exactly
Portuguese,
like it.
Spanish. Okay, look, I
There's some French in there.
yeah, I think this also begs. What about potato? I don't think British people don't say potato.
If
Oh
they
wait,
say
do
they,
they? Actually, they might.
Oh well, that's a
that-
joke to me.
That's a joke. They don't really do that.
Well, not no. I mean, I think
Potato.
I think their whole culture is a joke.
It's true. Yeah, just this. They eat mush and breathe in toxic fumes.
You know what? I guess I gotta go. I gotta go tomato.
I
Because
gotta
I
go
was
tomato,
getting
too. I
caught
think
up on
it's
the sort of
easy.
like tomato. I'm like, is there something about the pronunciation that doesn't do it for me? And I'm like, potato does it for me.
Yeah, potato's good. Potato's just better to say too.
Potato.
Potato.
It's like, who do you think you are?
No.
Who do you think you are?
Yeah. I don't really know any other way to. I think this one does have a winner.
It's tomato.
It's tomato, but folks,
There are no winners.
Well, I
And
mean,
that's how this podcast is.
that's sort of how this podcast be going, folks.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
happy
So
to be doing these call-ins.
yeah. Happy New Year, folks. We're in a new year right now.
We're in a new year. This is gonna be the best year of apples and oranges ever. And folks, we something we have to plug starting next week. A tournament.
Yeah, tournament.
Yes.
And we shan't say anything else. If you're a fan, if you're a longtime listener, you already know what it is.
You already know what's
and
up.
if this is your first time listening, 1, the podcast is always like this.
This is how it always is.
This is how it always is. And 2, stick around next week. We're doing something real fun. So meet us back here at this hour.
Meet us back here at this hour. We've also got, we are Matt and Jack Comedy. We've got a lot of insane characters this year we're going to be dropping. So
Yeah.
come see us at shows. Check out the Instagram.
Keep your
Matt
eyes
and Jack
peeled on
Comedy.
the socials.
Yep, always be peeling your eyes.
Matt and Jack on TikTok, Matt and Jack Comedy on Instagram. This is a call-in show. The plugs are a small part at the end of it. We're not. This isn't really a self-promo podcast.
No.
But it's actually normal in podcasting to do self-promotion just right at the end.
And that was just some context for the auditor.
Yep.
But yeah, folks, keep the calls coming. Have a happy new year. And we will see you
Tomato.
tomorrow.